What up, y'all? It's your boy, AsisGalvin, coming at you guys with another one of those nighttime videos. Picking up, hold on, let me see if I get this lighting better. There we go. Picking up where I left off. This is episode 10? Yeah, it's 10. Alright, let's get into it. First off, to everybody that had mad questions, definitely I'm going to do a recap video real soon, which I'll get to all you guys' questions. A lot of people were asking me that I speak about Steve in past tense, what happened to him, and what's going on with me and now. I will get to those. I will get to those kind of things. So anyway, let's get right into it. So where we left off before, as you guys already know, we left off where pretty much I just got to Virginia. Now, I don't like talking about Virginia because it was boring as fuck to me. It was really boring. It was really like I didn't do much. I met a kid named Miles. He skates. I met him. He was cool. I skated a lot. Well, let's get to that. So when I first got to Virginia, I stayed in the house for like a month. Real talk. I stayed in the house for like a month. I was just depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't like my area. I just didn't like anything about it. So I stayed indoors for a month playing Spider-Man 2 for PS2. And then, rotting away. I could only talk to Mia through emails here and there. So I wasn't thinking about her. I wasn't talking to Trish. I wasn't talking to anybody from where I moved at. I was isolated. It was just me, and that's it. So I was just sitting there rotting away, just thinking about, damn, I should have never came. I learned a valuable lesson that day. Lesson learned was don't ever, ever, ever allow anybody, anything or anybody to make you make decisions because of money or materialistic things. They're not important. To some people, they're important to some people, but for most people, they're not important. So, for me, it just wasn't an important thing, and I just didn't. It was whatever. I just sat there mad depressed. So, Steve was happy, even though the situation wasn't really working too well for him. He was happy because, like I said, he got my mom out of New York. My sister was happy because most of the people around where we lived were cool with her. So, for the first 2 months, I didn't do anything. I went outside one day. Like I said, I met Miles about a month and a half later. Now, mind you, I got there in August. I was only in Virginia for a duration of about 5 months. So from August to about, I would say, January, almost 6 months. And during that 6 months, the first 2 months, I didn't do anything. I went out and met Miles one day. I started skating with him a little bit. I'll tell you guys a little story about when I destroyed my ankle. I was skating with Miles, and we were skating on some rail. We were grinding this rail. It's actually the time where I learned how to do something called a cricket grind. I just learned that like literally that week. And we went out. We all went to like some place to skate, and we had mad fun. And we came back to Miles' house, and it was like 3 of us, 3 skaters. It was me, Miles, and somebody else. And he's like, "Yo, let's jump these decks that I got." He had a bunch of old decks that he doesn't use no more. So he laid out like 5. We jumped over them. He laid out 6. We jumped over them. When he got to like 7, people were having trouble jumping it. I can jump pretty high. I got ollie pretty high and pretty far, because I can go really fast and control myself while I ollie. So he did about 7, and we were like, oh snap. Nigga went and put out 8. I was the only one to clear it. He cleared it barely. He like nipped it back, and for some reason we went from 8 to 10. And 10 boards, you had to skate from halfway down the street just to try to clear it. So he went first. He almost made it. I kept bailing because I was scared. He went again. He did it. He almost cleared it, but he couldn't. I went one last time, and I went as fast as I could, and I ollied, and my front foot went a little too far over the front of the board, came down directly on my ankle, rolled the shit out of it. I'm talking about, I rolled my ankle so bad, I was out of order for a month. Couldn't do anything, couldn't walk. It was a burning sensation. It hurt for a couple years after that. I rolled it bad. Like, I severely sprained my ankle pretty bad. After that, I was done skating. So now I'm sitting here in October with a sprained ankle, laid out on the couch now. Sitting around the couch in the living room because I can't get up the stairs, so I'm just sitting in the living room, and I spent a lot of time just observing Steve and really start noticing how grimy he is. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, I'm gonna leave here and I'm gonna get back to New York, but when I do that, is this the kind of person I want to trust leaving with my mom? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't trust him. He's one of them shady cats. Like, you really just can't trust that dude. And I'm just like, I don't know, man, because he started lying a little bit more than normal. He started doing a lot more random stuff I just didn't like. Like, he's one of those people, Steve's one of those people that he'll lie to you and then believe in his lie full-heartedly. It's terrible. So anyway, couple months go by. It's now November. I tell Mia, like, yo, I'm planning on getting out of here. I go have a conversation with my mom. So I tell my mom, I'm like, yo, like, I've been sitting here dying for like months. I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I'm like, I know it's crazy. I know you don't want to see me go. I know I don't have anybody in New York necessarily go to, but I gotta get out of here. I can't live like this. I gotta get out. She's like, understands, but she doesn't want me to do it. I'm like, yo, look, I gotta do what I gotta do. She's like, get a job. I'm like, I can't do that, yo. Like, I can't. I had no drive to do anything. I felt like I was wasting away. I literally felt like every day that I was there, I was wasting time. And I was just like, I can't do this, yo. I was like, I can't. So, I gotta go. A couple more months went by in Virginia. And like I said, the reason I keep this subtle and not really going into too much detail about Virginia, because I didn't do anything in Virginia. Nothing happened there. So, when it got down to like December, you know, I'm 1 month away or two, you know, I remember December 31st, right before the new year. I remember that. I remember sitting in my room and I was just kind of like, just sitting there like, all right, let's get myself mentally ready. Let's start making preparations for going to New York. Let's start doing a lot of different stuff. So that way when New York comes, we're ready for it. So I started making preparations. I called Toogie. I was like, yo, I'm thinking about coming up in December. December is his birthday. He's like, yo, come up. I was like, yo, I don't have nowhere to go though. He's like, yo, we'll try to figure it out when you get here. We didn't know, you know, what we were going to do. I kept telling me, you know, but at this time I was so excited to see her that was the only driving force that I have. Everything was based off of Mia. I wasn't thinking straight. I wasn't thinking like, all right, you're going to run off and go to New York for what? I'm like at the age now where I should be going to college, and I'm sitting here playing around like, all right, well, let me just go back to New York. Let me just get around Mia, and then I'll worry about everything else then. I was kind of putting my priorities a little incorrect, but I was just going to do it anyway. So I was like, whatever. Here comes January 15th. I remember this. It was like 2 weeks away. I'm getting ready to prepare. I'm preparing to leave. I'm getting my stuff together. It took me like 2 weeks to save like $100. I get that $100 up. I'm like, yeah, son. That's what I'm thinking to myself. Like, yeah, boy. Yeah. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here, then. So anyway, here comes January 28th, I think it was like 3 days before the 31st. I tell my mom, like, yo, I love you. I gotta go. I know it's a blizzard in Baltimore, because it was like a blizzard in Baltimore. So the drive from Virginia to New York, I was gonna run into mad snow. I didn't care. I knew in my heart, I felt like, yo, I can get killed. This drive may kill me. Is it worth it? I literally took this drive knowing goddamn well, like, I could get bodied. I knew it was a likely chance. I knew something could happen. I was like, yo, I got to do it. Like, nothing trumped that. Nothing trumped that I was going through. I was like, I just got to go. I got to do it. So here we go. The journey back. This is what kind of this video takes off at. I get in the car. I remember exactly what I was listening to. I was listening to POD. We are, you know, Youth of the Nation. That was the first song. And I was listening to something of, what's the other song? I think it was Conspiracy or something like that. Those are two songs I had starting off the trip. So I'm blasting those songs. I get in the car. I'm mad excited. I'm pumped. I leave at 11 p.m. because I got to get there. I got to get there in the morning because I want to catch Mia before she goes to school. Mind you, I forgot to tell you guys. Remember in those emails, I told Mia, yo, I'm going to come see you. Meet me outside your house. Like, instead of going on the, going to school or going to bus or taking a ride to school, I'm like, don't take the bus, don't take a ride, just go outside and don't go to school. Meet me outside. Now, mind you, it's in the middle of January. She's like, okay, because she trusts me. She trusts that I'm actually going to do it. Like, she trusts I'm actually going to make it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll get there. Now, mind you, I don't know if I'm going to make this. And let me tell y'all something. Remember I told y'all I had $100 at 2 weeks ago? Well, at this point, I only have 60. So I don't even have enough money to get there, which is terrible. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Get in the car. All I'm thinking about is, all right, I'm about to go back into this situation. We're about to do this one more time. Let's do it right. Let's get it done. Let's do what we got to do. Get about halfway to Baltimore. And I'm driving. I'm in the left lane, a passing lane. There's a truck in the middle, and there's a car on the right. So I'm cruising, chilling. I'm getting tired, but I'm out. Like, it's like 3 a.m. I'm driving pretty fast. And for some reason, I see the lights. I see like the high beams of the car all the way to this. Imagine it's me, a truck, and another car. I see the lights of a high beam on the right side of me behind, like just flicker on and flicker off, flicker on, flicker off. I'm like, what the hell is that? Then all of a sudden I hear the most craziest sound you've ever heard. And let me tell y'all something. The scariest sound in the world is not an actual weird demon noise or anything like that. It's actually the sound of a 16-wheeler, a 16-wheeler trying to stop, going 80 miles an hour. I'm right next to this 16-wheeler. Well, I'm actually behind him. I'm like by the back wheels. I see the lights flicker. I look to the right. Underneath the truck bed, I can see the other lights, and I can hear, the initial, like, pretty much the person on the right reacted first. The person all the way in the right lane flashed the headlights, hit the brakes. I heard the screech. As soon as I heard that screech, I looked to the right. As soon as I looked to the right, I seen the truck next to me sway over to me. I'm talking about so close that if you reached your hand out the passenger window, you'd touch the truck. I moved over almost to the as far as over to the right as I could go. So I'm like, why is he swaying? All of a sudden I hear this noise. It sounded like y'all know what like 16-wheeler truck brakes sound like, right? Like, I heard that noise, but right next to my ears, and 16 brakes or 16-wheeler trying to stop. This nigga went, I'm like, what? I look over. All of a sudden, I hear a freaking destructive, like, explosion noise. Hold on, let me just move over here real quick. I hear an explosion go off. And all I see is pink. Everywhere. Like, pink mist everywhere, son. Next thing I know, I hear, like this crashing noise. And I'm just like, another one. So I heard two. It's like, bash, bash. And the next thing I see is two hind legs fly in front of my car. It flew off the truck in front of my car. I barely dodged it. It smacked the top of the hood because I just barely moved out the way. It smacked the top of the hood. When it hit the top of the hood, I was like, oh! Car went like this. I'm like, oh! I'm trying to stop. Mad Meat hits my window. And then I end up sliding off to the side of the road and I almost hit the sidewall. Long story short, that truck, the guy on the right seen a deer, flashed the deer to try to get out the road, hit the brakes, the deer moved out the way of the car, right directly in front of the truck destroyed the deer, exploded. The pink that I seen was blood everywhere. The meat that flew on the car, the hind legs broke, the half the body broke off, and that second thump that I heard was the freaking deer head rolling back underneath the truck, hitting the wheels next to me. I heard a deer getting hit by a 16-wheeler sounds like an explosion. Real talk. So, I get sick thinking about it. So I had to pull on the side of the road. I only had a gallon of water on me. I had to use half that gallon to get the blood off the windshield, my nigga. To get the blood off the windshield. It was horrible, son. It took me almost a half an hour to clean that car from the outside in the middle of the night. Freezing outside. So after that happens, I start driving again. I ended up getting most of the blood off, and my car was still covered. And now I get all the way to Baltimore, and here comes a blizzard. Now I have to drive 50 miles an hour, and I'm running out of time. It's like 4 o'clock, and I'm like, yo, I'm still like 3 hours away, but it's only 4 o'clock. Mia's waiting for me at 6. I'm sorry, it was 3 o'clock. I was 3 hours away, and Mia's waiting for me at 6, but I'm going 50 miles an hour. And the only way I'm going to get to her on time, is if I'm actually going 70, 80, maybe 90. Hell. So anyway, I hear all kinds of people over here next to me. So let me just move over here. I'm like on the edge of a building in some grass. But anyway, so the deer explodes. I clean the deer up. Now I'm hustling. The blizzard comes. Now there's salt all over the road. It's destroying my undercarriage. I'm driving as fast as I can. I almost lose control a few times, but I keep it still. I'm getting mad tired. Now at this point, I'm getting tired to the point where I'm literally thinking about, I just want to pull over, but I can't pull over because she's waiting for me. So I have this decision to make. I'm like, I can keep pushing forward, or I can just take a nap. And she's going to be assed out. She'll be outside until whenever. But me, y'all already know, I'm not going to give up. So I keep going. I get all the way to New York. I'm coming up this hill. Most people that live in New York, y'all know where Ossining is. So I'm going to New York. I'm coming up this really long, curvy hill. I'm going up this hill. I'm getting very comfortable with the fact that I'm thinking like, yo, I actually made it. I'm here. I only got maybe 40 minutes left before I see her. I'm getting excited, but I'm getting tired. I end up going up the hill. The car kicks out to the side. I spin sideways. It looks like I'm drifting, but I'm just sliding up a hill, losing control. I'm like, oh, I'm sliding. Boom! Smash into a curb. Half my car goes on the curb. I'm chilling on the curb. I'm running out of time. It is 5 o'clock. I'm 40 minutes away. Car's on the curb. I can't get the car off. I have a front wheel drive. It's not working. These two Mexican dudes, they get out. They ask me what's going on. I'm like, I gotta hurry. I gotta get out of here. They're like, you okay? I'm like, I'm good. Like, just can you help me? Can you help me get this out? He's like, yeah. So they kind of pushed my car from the back with a truck and try to push it off the curb. Once it got off the curb, I had to go backwards down the whole entire hill on oncoming traffic and go a whole nother way that took me an extra 20 minutes just to get to her. And I did that. Long story short, after I did that whole reverse drive thing, I got all the way to where she was. And after everything I went through that night, I could barely even see straight. I'm like, oh, I'm back in New York. I'm back. I see her. I'm going to tell y'all what this looked like. It was warm that morning, actually, which is weird. It was warm. It was like, for some reason, it was like January. It was about to be February, but it was January 31st. It was my anniversary. I actually made it back. And when I seen her, I'll never forget what it looked like. She was wearing, I'm going to tell y'all exactly how it looked to me. I haven't seen her in months. So she looked different. She got older. She got bigger in certain areas. I seen her from behind first. She was darker than she was before. So I guess she got tanned over that summer because she was a lot darker than I remember her. She was a lot more, browner. When I seen her from behind, I seen her sitting at the bottom of the hill, kind of like just standing. Kind of standing, but leaning. And but she's kind of like, I can't even explain, but she's at the bottom of this hill. So I park the car, I walk up. I'm at the top of the hill, I'm looking down. And I don't know who that is. I see a girl down there, but I don't know who it is because she doesn't look like my girl. Her hair is like reddish. And she's wearing like these shorts, but they look like, I can't even explain what they look like. She just looked mad different. Like I didn't know who that was. And I walk up. I get I'm across the street from her. She doesn't turn around yet. And before I could even kind of get to her, before I even got to her, as I started walking up, she slowly turned around and then she started spazzing. She said that she thought she heard me, but she didn't want to turn around. She didn't want to look because she didn't want to be disappointed. She didn't know if I made it. She felt really bad because she wasn't sure if I actually made the drive. And, we just pretty much, when we seen each other that time, it was just crazy. And it's interesting because when I seen her, the only thing I was thinking about to myself was, yo, why am I kind of I'm happy, I'm ecstatic, but at the same time, I'm so worried because I have no money at this point. Y'all got to think, I only had $60. I barely made it. When I got to her, I didn't have any money left. I had $60 in a full tank before I left. Y'all may wonder why I'm doing that. Because everything that's about to happen after this is so crazy. When I got there, when I seen her and we hugged up and I seen her, we was talking. We spent the whole day together. We was chilling. We got reacquainted. Come on, son. What are you doing? But anyway, we got reacquainted. We were just wow. I haven't seen you so long. And I dropped her off. And then life hit me. I'm freezing. I don't have any gas. My car's on E. Where the hell am I going? I don't have anywhere to live. I don't know who the fuck's around. I don't know what's going on. My phone is dead. I'm what am I doing? It didn't hit me until I got to New York how dumb my decision was. I was very not prepared for this. I'm it's freezing outside and I have nowhere to go. I'm what the hell? So I hit Toogie up. Talking to Toogie, he's like, yo, I'm asleep, son. Because it's mad early. It's 8. So I wait in the car. I drive to the riverfront and I'm sitting in the car freezing. And I'm surprised my car be made because when I tried to start my car again, it didn't work. So now I had to leave my car at the riverfront and I had to walk. Long story short, I eventually walked to Toogie's house. I meet Toogie. I give him a big ass hug. I'm yo, I'm back. He's for real? I'm yo, I'm back. I'm not going nowhere. Only problem is I don't have nowhere to live. He's yo, crash here. I'm his mom's my auntie. I'm yo, you think I can? He's yeah. Yeah, you can. We'll just do this. I'm gonna talk to my mom right now. I called her up. He's like, yo, Ace is here, blah, 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 blah. Like, he moved up and blah, blah. He's not in Virginia no more. She's like, I can't do it. I can't let him stay. I talked to her later that day. I'm like, yo, listen, like, I'm only here to pursue something. Like, I'm here because my girl. I'm here because Tookie. I miss all you guys. I'm like, I just have to make this work. You know what I mean? Like, I just got to get this popping. I can't be in Virginia. And I explained everything to her. I broke it down. I was like, yo, I went through this. I don't like Steve, this. And at the end of it all, she's like, okay, you stay here for a little while. Get your stuff right. Get a job. Get what you need to get done. I'm like, mad blessed. I'm like, ugh. So now here we are. 20 minutes into episode 10. We are out of Virginia. We are back in New York. I am back around my girl. And the first thing I hear is, yo, son. Yo, H, yo, son. Listen, B. Yo, like, Trish been running around saying you got a small dick, though. Like, this nigga was laughing so hard he was tearing. He usually does tear. When he laughs, Tookie was laughing so hard. He's like, yo, she been running around saying you had a small dick. Like, telling Trish pretty much, let me just explain what Trish did. Trish pretty much started running around. When Trish found out that only person, I did it for everybody for Mia again. She started running around telling everybody I had a small dick. Everybody. When I say everybody she knew, everybody that I knew through her, they were like, she was telling them I had a small dick, son. She was like, he got that small dick. And I was just like, at this point, I'm going to get in this, introducing you guys to another person. Let's introduce Janelle. Yes, Janelle. And Janelle, let me explain something about Janelle. When I first met Mia, I met Janelle. It's just me and Janelle weren't really like, we were close, but we weren't close. When I came back here and I moved back to New York, that's when me and Janelle was like my life support. Me and Janelle went through so much stuff. She was, just to let y'all know, Janelle was my best friend. Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx. She lived up where I lived. I met Janelle. How did I meet? Janelle was a friend of this other girl named Myra. Now, here's some background for you guys. Since we're at the end of me getting back to New York and everything's going to get crazy from this point, let me give y'all some quick background, okay? Myra was a girl I met in the mall. Myra was cool. I met her and her friend who had a humpback. I thought it was funny, but she was cool. I met them, and I'm chilling with Myra for like, this is before Mia, right? This is about a year before Mia. Now, you remember how I skipped from 14 to 17? I skipped those 3 years. In between those 3 years, I met Myra, I met Janelle, and I'm going to explain how I met all these people right now so y'all know, because next episode is probably going to be a recap, but it probably won't be. I don't know. But I met Myra in between those years, and I think I was 15 when I met her. I was in a mall, I was chilling. Once again, some girl walks up to me and starts talking to me. We just hit it off, and I'd be cool, because anytime a girl comes up to me and talks to me, I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna talk to you. You want to be cool with me? We could be cool. You know, I can learn something. Everybody has a life story. Everybody has something you can learn from. No matter who it is, no matter what they've been through, they got something you can learn from. So I'm always open to talk to anybody. I meet Myra. We're cool. Myra and this other girl named Candace. Candace is cool, but I don't chill with Candace like that. I'm chilling with Myra. I go to Myra. Myra's from Yorktown. This is before I met Mia. I go through Myra's yearbook, right? And there's these two girls that I see. I'm just going through the yearbook. Who's that? Oh, she doesn't live here no more. I'm like, yo, she's bad. Like, who is this? Oh, she moved. All right, go through the book. All right, who's this? Oh, what was her name? Oh, God. Hold on, let me think. I don't remember her name. It was like Wendy. It wasn't Wendy. It was something like that, though. She's like, yeah, she's my friend. She's cool. The first girl I picked out that yearbook was Mia. It's so crazy. I went through an entire yearbook of people in Yorktown. I seen Mia in that yearbook, and I picked her out. I was like, who is that? Isn't that crazy? I didn't even meet her yet. But anyway, me and Myra were cool. Myra used to come to Peekskill and chill with me. Her mom used to drop her off. All my friends like Myra. Myra was cool. They didn't like her, but she was cool. And then one day, Myra brought Janelle. Out of nowhere. And the first day I met Janelle, I was like, oh, this is before I met Mia. I'm like, oh, she's mad bad. Like, she's mad pretty. Like, she's mad cool. Like, I liked her, but I wasn't, like, liking her like that. I was like, I think she's cute. I think she's attractive. Niggas would be sweating me if I was actually with her, but it wasn't nothing at the time. I was like, she's cool. But what ended up happening is I was chilling with her, and I kind of, like, really seen that she could use my help. And I felt like, you know, I could try to go the whole like route, but to keep it 100 with y'all, she's from one of those families that she wasn't going to date no black dudes. And if she did, it would be in secret. It wouldn't be no, hey, mom, this is my black boyfriend. So it wasn't something that was going to go down. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be I'm going to take the friend route here because I feel like it could be a more positive thing. So me and Janelle became friends then. And then I used to just deal with a lot of stuff that she, help her out, be around her. But it wasn't until I came back from New York where two things happened. I came back from New York. She just started dating this dude named Justin. And for those that know me and those that know this whole situation,